So I'm up here at the auction to collect my latest ridiculously cheap, probably ridiculously stupid purchase. It's a car that came in here a few weeks ago. It's been through a few different sales, no interest whatsoever. And I made a cheeky bid last night, which was accepted. So here it is. It's a 2007 Mercedes S350 V6 petrol. It's got 74,000 miles. Privately owned, privately entered. From what I gather, it's been put in by the guy who ordered the car new. Throughout lockdown, he stopped driving it. It was sold in April 2020. The MOT was up February just past. There's a few issues that I'm aware of. No doubt more that are waiting to be discovered. But overall, she's a bit of a beauty. Let's have a look inside. Grey leather. Very few options. But it's a lovely old car. Now, this is the main issue. The electronic parking brake is not working, which is obviously a big issue for MOT. And I think it's the reason that people didn't look twice at it while it was in auction. Now, I've wanted to own one of these for absolutely ages, but two things have prevented it. One, most cheap ones are having some sort of electrical meltdown or are broken in various other ways. And two, they're usually diesel. And I hate diesels. So when this S350 petrol came up, I was patient and I think it's paid off, because if you take a look at this is the auction catalogue, okay? So the cap valuation, 5,200, cap clean. I got this car for 2,200. £2,200. That leaves a gap of 3 grand for any kind of disasters which may arise. Let's hope that's not the case though. Ah, and the perfect soundtrack for S-Class ownership. Let's get a better look around it. So it's an S350, as already said. It's got very few options on it. It hasn't got xenon headlights. There's no parking sensors. It has, however, got these AMG alloy wheels. The bodywork is incredibly good. Those twin pipes really set it off. I'd say the driver's side has probably been painted at some stage. We've got a little rust starting in here. Wouldn't be a Mercedes if it didn't. And then we've got a bit of a reaction on these doors, so might end up having to paint these, but we'll see how my relationship with this car progresses. He had it so long, it's still got the old blue V5. No previous keepers, and the name and address on this matches the name and address of the person who entered this car in for sale. So it is one owner from new. Those are genuine miles. I'm excited about getting to know this. First impressions? What a car. The S-Class has always been top of its game, and you can absolutely see why. The air suspension just gives this beautiful ride. The seats, of course, have so much adjustment that you find yourself perfectly positioned within seconds. All the controls are laying to hand beautifully. This gorgeous dash, besides the fact that it's lit up like a Christmas tree, there's just this beautiful cockpit, and it's leather stitched, and this grey leather seems to have a bit of a green tinge. I like that. Shall we see how that V6 sounds? I'll just flick it from comfort to sport. Let's see. I'm not expecting it to be overly quick, but it's just that noise of a petrol V6. 320 CDI, you should not put a diesel engine in these cars, which is why I held off for this. Okay, let's see. Perkier than I thought. Well, we're home, and so far so good. Gearbox behaved beautifully, the engine is silky smooth, there's no engine management light, which hopefully means that this one has avoided that balance shaft issue that plagues the 350 petrol. I think it's late enough to have avoided that. The air suspension is soft. Everything I've tried so far works, besides the parking brake. So let's get a closer look at what these things are about. Everything is just made of such quality. It's got heated seats, electrically folding mirrors. Air suspension. This should rise the car up. We'll get out in a moment and see how much it's risen. Hopefully it does. Then this system here is controlled by all of this. There's controls here for the gearbox. That's for the stereo, which works. Which is apparently a huge bonus with one of these because the amp dies and is impossible to replace and repair. Then this central knob kind of goes through this whole thing. So settings for the car, telephone, navigation, audio, climate. Look even how classy and detailed this is as you flick through it. This is a 2007 car and it's just as timeless as a Mercedes should be. Oh, 3 CDs. This is always fun. Oh good God. Brilliant. Climate's here. Pleased to report the air conditioning works and it's cold. God, this. I love that. And they didn't even reverse the door for right-hand drive models. Then this storage. Oh, owner's pack. Isaac Agnew, Mercedes-Benz at 22, 29, 41, 48, 55, it moves to an independent, 60, and that's us, and there's currently 74 on it. So pretty decent history, given the age of the car. Also backs up that mileage, which is a bonus. Yep, she's risen nicely. So the air suspension's fully functional. The car was sitting in the auction for about a week and it hadn't sank, so yeah, that's sitting nicely. It looks like the air suspension's all good. Another scary point off the list. Looks like the original auxiliary battery. Probably wouldn't hurt to change that. Right, shall we have a look at this catalogue of warnings? Alrighty. They just keep coming. Alright. Maybe I'm being a bit optimistic that it's all linked to this and that noise. But it could be. You never know. All these systems have to talk to each other. That does sound expensive, but yeah, we'll see. I haven't done any research yet. I'm not sure what that's going to be, but the handbrake it's not working at all. I'm hoping that once that is done and reset, then it will have the knock on to all of these other messages. They can clear, and then we can put it in for MOT. I'm going to live with it for a little while, see how it behaves. Hopefully there's no battery drains. Hopefully that gearbox behaves whenever the car is really warm. I had a CLK with that 7G Tronic before, and it was doing the classic conductor plate issues of every now and then when the car is really warm, the gearbox would just go into limpo mode. So let's hope that this isn't doing that. And providing all is well, maybe we'll mentor up, sort those doors out, maybe tidy up the rear arches, make it into a really, really nice low mileage one owner car. But that is all providing that it's a well-behaved car. But initial impressions are very, very good, I have to say. I'm gonna really enjoy driving this thing for a while. The only thing is it'll make me want a CL500 of this era, which is slightly more expensive than this was. Mercs of this era are really starting to interest me for loads of reasons. The most being that depreciation has really, really got them, especially in the case of this car, which makes them too cheap not to try. Second of all, well, they're not the most trouble-free things in the world, and that bit of narcissism within me likes that kind of thing. I don't know what it is, but the potential for disaster was something the more I wanted, and these S-classes with their plethora of tech that's now nearly 2 decades old, they're guaranteed to make ownership eventful. But this thing seems to be really well behaved so far. It's driving every inch as well as a Mercedes should. That V6 is beautifully hushed yet perky when you need it to be. The air suspension is lovely and soft. The gearbox seems to be fine. We'll know more about that over the next few weeks. But so far, so good. So, I'll keep you posted. But right now I can see my CLK is going to be parked up for a little while. I really like this thing.